And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for game number 3 of the GEST Challenge Grand Finals. It's DK versus IG, best of 5, and currently tied up 1-1. I'm LD of Beyond the Summit. I'm joined here today by Cinderin. Cinderin, it's time for game 3, man. How you feeling?
I feel like I've seen this before.
DKIG going the distance?
No, Void Doom. I've seen this before.
You spoiled the draft. All right, no, it's okay. Let's hop into it. So
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were already showing the draft. Production value, right there.
It's totally.
We've got
fine.
great communication, you and I. We're doing a good job. So
the synergy is definitely strong right now.
Amazing. So yeah, it is indeed going to be a Void again. First pick this time from DK, and IG are not backing down on the Doom that they got first in the last game. So IG last game, they first picked Doom, and DK responded with, what was it? Void Mirana, right? And this time, well, I can imagine them taking Mirana again, but the Ember now is going to be the pick for IG.
IG got the Doom as a second pick here, and I wonder if we see DK, you mentioned the Mirana as a support for them, but I'm also interested in what they go for as far as the cores go. Do we see them go for like this Razor, Death Prophet, Viper, tank style? Do they continue in that vein? We'll have to wait and see, but the best approach against the Doom picks, and it's honestly, DK have run the Death Prophet twice now against Doom, and I believe they've won both games in the past 2 days, so let's see what they do. The Mirana's out there. They do like the hero, and, well, no surprises. They will go for it again.
Too bad.
What is the saying? Never change your winning strategy, right? And they haven't lost with Void Mirana together. They lost with Mirana in the first game, so it wasn't Mirana that was that's been the kind of the winning factor, I guess. I to be honest, in both the wins for DK, there's been a couple of nice arrows, but I haven't had this feeling that, wow, Mirana just made that game. It just works well for them, but it hasn't been standout Mirana performances that have carried through in either of the games. So we're gonna see if this is something else, but well, it's a solid start, and again, it's a very flexible pick here for DK.
It has been the case in the past, though, that DK have just won games because Landom or MMY Mirana has completely gone off. Mostly MMY. So we haven't seen it today, but DK have a lot of faith that at some point, I think the combo will just take over and roll a game up for them. And if you can just win a game based on your supports early ganks, then, well, it really opens up the series. IG do not want to be blowing a ban on Mirana, though, when there's heroes like Naga to deal with. The other thing that's interesting, I feel, is this Invoker ban from DK. It's been a decent pick for IG, but I'm interested to see they're so afraid of it. The Enchantress ban makes a lot of sense. Chuan's been a monster on the hero. We saw IG banning against DK last game, and to me, Enchantress is right back where she belongs, which is just too high value of a support to let through. Just can single-handedly win the laning stage, and I would say much more reliably than a Mirana. So yeah, the Invoker ban I do find a bit curious. It's still a strong hero, but I'm not sure if it's first ban worthy against IG. Either way, DK move forward now with the bans. They will remove a Bristleback, IG removing out the Tide, and, well, the team fight specialists and just tanky frontliners are they're the flavor of the month, or I guess it's the past few months, and they continue to be banned out.
I'm still just very surprised that Batrider is ignored. I mean, sure, there can be a game or two where, even in a best of 5 series like this, I know it's a new trend, but still, where did Batrider go? What happened? I feel like this happened a couple of months ago when Batrider was a big pick, and then suddenly it disappeared, and then nothing got changed, and then it was a first pick again. It's like people were like, hey, why did we forget about Batrider? It's a good hero. Yeah, let's all agree it's a good hero and first pick it again. And do you think the nerf to the damage to creeps is what made the difference, and that teams are just feeling like it doesn't have a high enough impact? Because I think it still got picked and did a lot after that nerf in a lot of games.
Yeah, that's the main thing. I mean, the mana and cost to lasso to me is irrelevant because Blink Dagger got changed to 0 mana. So effectively, lasso cost what it did before the Blink Dagger change, and Batrider was still very strong back then. So the only thing I can see that is affecting it is what you mentioned, which is just that he needs a few more levels before he can jungle very quickly. But it's so hard to keep Bat out of lane, Sind. Like, you really have to commit to shutting that hero down, and even if he has a
Radiant offlane, especially.
Yes. And the thing is, like, the supports can stack the jungle and catch him up. So even if he has an awful start, they can even help him farm the stacks depending on what supports they run. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised by the lack of Bad, and I feel it's only a matter of time before he comes back. I don't think he's gone for good. But I guess we'll see if the teams want to pick him.
Yeah. And in his stead, I guess you could say Tide has been getting a lot more priority. He's also been banned, I think, in all these 3 games. One of the games, was it even in the first phase or was it second phase in both games? I'm not sure. But he's kind of taken over because of the buff to Anchor Smash and his ability to do Ancients with that, but yeah, maybe the style is just changing. Maybe it's more about just raw teamfight power with an offlaner like Tide instead of pick-off with a Bat Rider. You have other initiators as well. Maybe Void is taking the initiator role instead of Bat. He kind of, in a sense, he performs that function as well as Bat does. You jump in, you chrono, the target can't move at all. Nothing can save him apart from something like Disruption, and then you follow through and kill. And then after that, Bat Rider after the lasso, sure you have Napalm and some damage, but in comparison to maybe a Void with farm, maybe that's the reasoning. That Void's just better at doing what Bat does.
Yeah, and he's a little bit... Oh, we'll see a Skyrath Mage. This is a hero that actually goes very well with the Chronosphere, but... man, when's the last time we've even seen a Skyrath Mage? It's been a while for me.
I think it was DK playing at support in that game as well. It's so good against Ember, though. Unbelievably good.
Yeah, the silence is incredible, and Mystic Flare's burst damage is... Anyone who gets caught in Chrono's pretty much dead, and IG don't actually have any defensive spells. They have no disruption. They ban out the Shadow Demon, and they do have one more pick to go here. Maybe they get some sort of defensive support, but it's basically like just leave behind whoever gets chronoed. They're just dead to the Mystic Flare at that point.
Unless if it's Viper. Viper will probably survive with the corrosive skin, so...
Let's see. Skyrath Mage, the last time we've seen in Chinese Dota was Kabu ran him in the GST challenge for... I forget what team Kabu plays for now, but... the last time a Tier 1 Chinese team ran him was the ECL LAN Finals. Chuan played him. They lost in 47 minutes. Looks like 430 did play him earlier this month. So I guess the Chinese teams have been experimenting with him a little bit. And I am very curious to see how the Skyrath Mage is played. Is there any chance he's actually a mid? They'll go for Razor now, so I guess a bit less likely. But could be a safe lane Razor and a solo mid Skyrath for Mushi.
I think it's the other way around, actually. Well, depending what DK want to do. I think it's Fnatic in the West that recently have been playing the most Skyrath, and they play it on Hani in the safe lane. I can't remember if he's actually played as a core or as the position 4 in that regard, but they've tried experimenting with that, and they've had mixed results, I think. But the thing that makes Skyrath so good in this version is he's got the second highest move speed in the game now on 325 together with Chaos Knight. Only Luna is higher at 330, and then the Ancient Seal just got buffed so hard. The magic damage amplification is the same on level 1 as it used to be on level 3. That's quite a jump. And, well, the thing for DK, though, they don't have the best synergy with the Seal. They don't have too much spell damage to go with it. Razor has the Plasma Field. His ultimate is physical. Everything about Void is physical. Mirana's arrow. Actually, the arrow hits pretty damn hard, but not the best synergy for that ability.
Yeah, the Skyrath Mage is just going to have to do it on his own so far, it seems. And, well, DK, I really don't see a... I mean, I guess they could go support Skyrath Mirana, but then you have no setup for Arrow, and it's just a very awkward support duo, I would say. So I think more likely we do see one of these heroes as a core and only the other as a support. By the way, DK continue to ban out this Bristleback and Lone Druid. What do you make of that? They really seem worried about the two. Whenever they pick up the Void, it seems like they don't want to deal with those.
Yeah, it's perhaps the two only heroes that they feel like they really can't kill during the chrono. Lone Druid in true form and Bristleback are very hard to bring down. And if you look at how Game 2 was played, where DK went for that kind of, like we said, 3 tanky core strategy with Void, Death Prophet, and what was the third one? Why is it eluding Viper? Maybe that's the reasoning here, that they're afraid that IG is going to do the same to them. They have the Shadow Shaman that DK had in the second game, they have the Viper that DK had, and they have a Doom again. So very tanky heroes across IG. If you give them Lone Druid or Bristleback, maybe you just can't kill them with your heroes. And I think that's some good reasoning here. DK, I am very curious to see where they're going with this draft. Like you said, the support duo doesn't have the best synergy, and IG just has a very well-rounded, solid mid-game lineup.
Yeah, and now they get the Venge, so the Chronosphere is going to lose some impact here. You can just swap out whoever gets Chrono, maybe the Venge dies, but then you save one of these key teamfight heroes, and IG... Now, the other thing with Venge is, if she dies, it's pretty painful for your opponents with the new Vengeance are now. So, yeah, I think the Venge pick is a really nice choice here by IG. it also puts a lot of pressure on Roshan for DK. This lineup is a bit better contesting Rosh. They have the Arrow and Chronosphere to engage into it, but still, IG can just sneak a Rosh very quickly with the wards, the minus armor from Venge, the damage aura, and maybe the Doom's own auras. And DK go more caster heavy. This is now an OD pick, and I guess in the end we will see the support Mirana and Skywrath Mage. So no real setup for Arrow here. I guess you have the concussive shot, but two very level dependent and fairly greedy supports, I would say, with a lot of damage potential as this game goes on. And we do get the Moshi OD, which for DK fans is always fun. This is a lot of damage if he gets the farm. Let's see if he does.
And we had a short talk about how in game 1 and 2, Mirana wasn't the outstanding performer. I think she has to be in this game. Like we talked about, DK doesn't have good setup for the Arrow. And if the Arrow doesn't land, what do they really have? I am waiting to be amazed by what DK has drafted here, but I don't really see it right now.
I guess they have Astral is the main thing. So
they have Astral, sure. Yeah, so they can set up in Mushi's lane, but he can't roam with the Mirana early on.
Right.
And
that's one of the biggest strengths of Mirana.
Good Chrono and good Arrow have to land, else I don't think they can fight.
Yeah, I guess they do get a bit of... That's probably the reason with the OD pick as well, is it goes decently at the Chrono, but it does give them some setup, which they were not getting with the Skywrath Mage. So I at least like the pick a lot in that sense. DK finding a solo mid that can set up for Arrow is... Honestly, like, OD is probably the best one. There's not much else. Ember is not bad at it, but IG already had that, so... With that being said, Sin, let's dispense with the pleasantries and get right into it. It's game 3 to best of 5. I'll knot it up 1-1. DK on the Radiant side, and I'll introduce them this time around. Maybe it'll be good luck for IG. We've got Burning on the Razor, Ice Slice the Void, Lanham playing the Skywrath Mage, Mushi going mid as the OD, and that does leave MMY once again on the support Mirana. So I feel like he's like 90% support Mirana as of late. Seems every game he's playing the hero lately.
And for IG, I don't know why I have like 1 frame every 10th second. Something is really wrong, but I'll try to introduce them anyway. It looks like top lane will be...
You may just want to reconnect, because that's like sounds like Perfect World. So I can just introduce them if you want.
Okay, now he has a sword between his feet. That's actually really cool. So Ember Spirit by him. Mid lane will be Ferrari on the Viper. Chuan will be playing as Vengeful Spirit. Faith on the Shadow Shaman. And finally Luo once again on the Doom, but this time in an off-lane position.
And he's just starting Woods. Actually, they're doing a bit of a switcheroo here. I'm worried about DK going aggressive, perhaps, and wanting to just leave the Doom against that. Let's see. They're going to be matching up against Mushi safe lane solo if they do go for this aggressive tri-lane. But now they're swapping again. YYF goes back top, and Luo heads towards bottom as the supports are, let's see, double damage rune. They may just smoke right away. Are they going to go for it? This is a very easy first blood if they get a stun on Burning. But yeah,
I'm afraid you might have to run with it. This is really... I'm not even connecting to the game right now. I think I'm going to restart Steam and see if that solves it. Getting some server issues here, so...
Okay, no problem. I got your back,
see if
buddy.
I can work this out.
Meanwhile, we just see DK setting up for the ambush top lane, but YYF is tower hogging. He's playing this one very defensively. One thing worth mentioning is that it's normally 430 who plays the Ember Spirit for this team, not YYF. As they go to Mushi, Chuan's going to tango through. He's got a magic missile, but there's no real follow-up after this. Mushi will take a lot of damage, but with that healthy 5 base armor, he will survive the combo. Lives to fight another day. Now Luo joins the lane. He's eating a Wildkin, and well, they're going to try to keep Mushi down here. Aggressive tri-laning against him. This does create a bit of space elsewhere. Burning will have a 1v1 against the Viper, stolen a lot of damage, and will attempt to trade the best he can, but it seems Viper is getting the best of the Razor. In fact, heavily advantaged so far in terms of the overall damage dealt. They're still camping top. They're still waiting for this first blood, and let's see if they find it. While they're waiting, IG are moving. They smoke up in the enemy jungle, and they trot towards mid, Burning at half health. Any sort of setup here is a guaranteed kill. He doesn't have any defensive capabilities either, and all they need is that stretch Armstrong shackle. He'll walk right into Faith's arms. He eats a tree just to make sure he gets it off. Then the magic missile comes through. This will be first blood for IG. Easily claimed. The return comes from Lanham. He goes on to Faith. He does have another Arcane Bolt available soon, but they force out a TP. They get the first blood, and they dodge the gank top lane. IG firing on all cylinders here to start game number 1. The one piece of good news is Ice, who's already farming well. 12-7. He's had an easy time with the supports hiding in the trees, and once again, they'll need to turn to his Chronospheres to pull this game back in their favor once we get to the mid game. Sin still struggling with Perfect World, my friend.
At least my loading screen is pretty, but that's the only thing I have to look at right now.
No
Oh, there we
problem.
go. I connected. Okay.
Welcome back.
And heroes are moving. All right, that's good.
All right.
Here we go.
We have liftoff. Potentially. I'm gonna
Yes.
knock on wood, because I've had it like, oh, it's fine, and then it just starts lagging out with Perfect World, so you really never know. Well, they're gonna Astral bottom lane. Lanham comes in with a concussive shot. There's not too much follow-up to this, though. Oh, actually, there is the arrow coming through. Luo jukes it! Nice movement from him, putting on his Nikes and twisting some ankles as he retreats out. Well done. If he gets caught there, that is a definite kill. But yeah.
And it is really important for DK to try to get these kills because they're, as we said, the support duo doesn't really have the best synergy, so there is a lot of pressure on Mirana to hit these arrows, and Luo just saw it coming and easily got out of there, and because of that, just the whole laning phase in the start here for IG just seems solid. Sure, DK is getting some farm on Mushi because of this, but how are these supports going to transition into the later portions of the game? We know how good Venge and Shadow Shaman are. Skywrath together with Mirana, it's... I don't know, what do you think about DK today with their Mirana picks in general? Do you think it's been a good pick in any of the games where you were like, yes, Mirana was definitely the best choice here, or is it just them being a little stubborn?
I think they're just too predictable going for the hero. Like, they're drafting it so early, and it's every game they go Mirana, so... I feel like a lot of the strength of Mirana is just when your opponents aren't... Especially if your opponents haven't been playing against it recently, and you're just not ready for the arrows. But if you pick Mirana every game, your opponents are constantly thinking about arrows coming out of the trees, and it means every laning stage has DK just roaming for pickoffs with MMY, and I still think the Mirana is a strong pick. I just think they're doing it too much, and thus their opponents are used to it. They know how to adapt against it, and not to say it can't work, but I would like to see them experiment a little more as they go on Ice top lane. They've got a stun here from Chuan, and it'll find him after the time walk.
I'll just try to guide the game meanwhile. So in the top lane, YYF did get the kill from before, so he's getting some decent gold. Is that it's a bottle flying out for him, so we'll be able to regain a lot of the lost mana here in the top lane to keep some pressure up against Ice. The mid lane, Viper currently crushing the Razor completely, which I think this is one of the lanes where Razor, he's one of the few heroes who can actually stand up to Viper and play an even lane if not win it, but he's just been outplayed in this game by Ferrari and perhaps some early support rotations that I might not have seen because of my DC. And then finally bot lane, Mushi, of course, pretty much free farm, will be going for a fast hand of Midas, has it in one creep. How much is Doom getting? He's level 4, as Razor now even gets killed in the mid lane with a 2-hero rotation here coming in from IG, Venge, as well as Shadow Shaman. Setting up an easy kill. Level 7 now on Ferrari against the level 5 burning mid. That is not going to be fun to come back to.
Huh, this is very weird. It says the stream's on... Okay, and it looks like it has come back now. Guys, I do apologize. I think the San Francisco ingest for Twitch just died, so I've tried switching to Los Angeles. Hopefully the stream remains stable from here, but yeah, we're having some issues staying connected to Twitch, so do apologize for that. My wife will go down. Let's see. What was the kill that they missed? What was the kill before that?
Razor died mid to a gank, so he's 0-2 now.
Okay.
Both Venge and Shadow Shaman were carrying that out, so they're both level 3, soon level 4 on Venge. And the supports on DK, this time they're keeping up. They're up to par with IG, level 3 on Lanham and MMY. And the Skywrath has been working out okay so far. Of course, they only got 1 kill, but at the very least, Lanham has been putting a lot of pressure on the bot lane.
Yeah, the camera control, guys, is because I'm alt-tabbing trying to fix the stream. But it seems like everything's fixed, so we'll try our best not to miss any more kills. IG are smoked up as a pack of 3. They'll head bottom. Mushi already got his Midas, though, so even a death here is not the biggest deal in the world. And I imagine we'll see him buy his boots, but he may get caught out. Can he self-astral at the right time to dodge the missile? No. He's unable to do so. Still, though, it's not a very highly level missile. Only level 2, and now the Chrono comes through. The defensive astral's here. There is an OD ultimate available, I believe. He'll drop it quickly. He will fall to the secondary missile from Team IG, but in the end, it's a 1-for-1, and, well, DK still finding a return kill there. Did he buy his boots first? Yeah, he bought his boots before going down, so I think DK are fine giving up the OD there. Well, not fine, but as happy as you can be, anyway.
Considering how much IG committed to that kill, they used to smoke a lot of time on both their supports, and they ended up getting a 1-for-1 where Ice got... Now, he didn't get solo experience, but he shared it with OD. I think they're okay with this. Lanham is getting quite a bit of experience top as a result of Ice moving bottom, and MMY also now level 4. I think it's his boots flying out here. Yes, it is. Sentry wards as well. Probably going to try to counter-ward this one. He might have a feeling it's there since he has a ward himself. But again, the question for me here for DK is, we weren't completely sure what their plan was. Do you feel enlightened now about what the plan is?
I see what their plan is, like, in the mid-game, for sure. You've got Chrono, easy setup for the OD ultimate. He can just wail away at heroes trapped in the Chrono. Razor can pop his ult. He can Plasma Field through it. And obviously, it's great setup for Arrow and Skywrath Mage ult. I think that part was even clear just from the draft. And as you mentioned, also, Skywrath Mage is really good against Ember because of the silence. So I love their draft in the mid-game. I was just worried about their laning stage, but they've roamed effectively. And I think given how well they're...
not too bad.
Yeah, I think that was my biggest concern was, will they get anything done with the two supports early? But I think they've done enough. So yeah, with that in mind, I'd say DK are in really good shape here.
Yeah, we're still gonna return to Ice 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 having to land some good chronos, but I think he's been doing very well so far in his games on Void, so I don't think DK need to worry too much about that. Their damage is definitely there. I guess if you want to summarize their lineup, they have tons of damage, but kind of lacking in control, whereas IG have more control than they have damage, so it's all down to DK's control heroes to really land their spells. The Arrow, the Chronosphere, maybe a really clutch Ancient Seal on the right target so they get to bring someone down, a good Astral. If some of those abilities fail, I think IG don't even just win the fight. I think they completely roll over DK.
They do have Doom here, but if Ice 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 gets off a Chrono, he could turn this one. I thought he would just turn around in Chrono, but was worried about getting doomed, and he goes for the safe play, just time walking out. But yeah, that could have been a bloodbath with the two supports waiting. So in the end, the Doom's moving a lot and not finding many openings so far. Though he did find the kill bottom, but it came at a cost as they lost the Shadow Shaman there too. And I think DK are happy. The main thing for them now to me is just getting the Skywrath level 6 and farming. Mushi's got a Midas. Mushi will be a very big late game threat if they don't make much happen. Faith. There's a Chrono mid on Faith. The Arrow follows it up, and DK, they make it look easy. They bring down one. That being said, no, they may lose Burning on the way out. He gets caught in the Ember combo, and then Sleight of Fisted down. Doom's still available. They won't chase further, but IG descendant numbers on mid, and with this early mechs in, they're looking to take the tier 1. By the way, you mentioned Bernie was struggling, but he just got destroyed by 430. He 36 CS down, nearly 20 denies down, and that was a brutal beatdown. In all fairness,
he also got ganked twice.
That's true.
So IG put a lot of emphasis on making sure Ferrari got a good lane, which he definitely did, but I think even before the ganks took place, I think Ferrari was winning the lane. You pointed that out in the first minute and a half of the game, that he was actually winning the lane, so if you're already winning and then you get a gank, if you're playing a lane control hero like Viper, it is going to be an absolute snowball lane. So I think that's what's going the best for IG right now is Ferrari, of course, with a very early mech, probably working on an Axe as his next item. The question is, how is Doom going to play into this game? He's going to get a Midas now, which is an 11-minute one. So it's still going to take a while, I think, before he starts really taking off. Lanham, oh, he's dead.
Nah, he almost TP'd out. He was down to, like, at most half a second there, but the bird gets its wings clipped and drops to the earth. Flew too close to the sun, the ember, as it were. Well, can DK defend top? I mean, I think the Razor's a liability, though. Looking at the game a bit more closely, that's the one thing that DK have to be worried about is, what is this Razor going to offer them? He hasn't farmed well, he's not tanky, and IG have a lot of burst damage. So, I don't know. It may just be up to the OD Void combo to carry this one.
I'm a little bit surprised with, or actually, never mind, I'm not surprised at all. I'm confusing myself instead.
Well, now I'm surprised. As to why you're not surprised. Let him will go.
Is this another awkward moment?
He got munched. My goodness.
Oh, ice, ice, ice. Just getting out.
There's no points of Wave of Terror. Chuan actually didn't take a single point in it.
Yeah, that would have been a kill. If he had 1 point instead of Vengeance, probably. He could have waved and then swapped to stop the TP, so... But then again, the Vengeance Aura is just that damn good that maybe he thinks this 8% extra damage is going to be more important. Of course, it's better for pushing towers, and it means that it has a bigger impact when he dies, as we talked about before the game. Nice swap on Mushi, and the stun as well. He's going to be done for, I think. We'll try to TP out. Not going to make it.
Oh, he was close, though. He was damn close. Now 430, having his damage stolen, but there's no lockdown for him. He can just retreat his way out. He'll just hoof it back to the tower. Burning. I mean, he's stolen everything, but he can't do anything with it, so what does it matter in the end? Another death for the OD? Or for a core, I should say, for DK, and Well, they needed to slow the OD down a bit. He was getting out of control. He's now 0-2, and despite the Midas, is not the lead farmer. That title goes to the Viper. The other thing, Sind, is IG, I mentioned this in the draft, I feel they're really good at taking Roche, and, well, taking the Tier 1 mid, Tier 1 bottom, probably their next objective. Once they take those two, they'll have the level 6 on Shadow Shaman, and I feel like Roche is almost a foregone conclusion at that point, barring a really good Chronosphere from my side.
Yeah, and Chuan just picking up the medallion. This is pretty much perfect timing for IG. Everything that needs to happen is happening for them. They're getting the towers, they're getting the kills on the right heroes, they're getting the experience they need. This is not the fastest level 6 in a Shadow Shaman you've ever seen, but he hasn't needed it yet. They've taken the towers without it, and he's going to have it when it becomes important, which is for the Roshan. So very nicely done so far for IG. I think this bottom tower is going to fall as well. I think DK will try to trade for mid. They're probably going to get that as well, but if you're IG, you're probably happy with this. You just want the trade and to prepare for that Roshan.
Well, it looks like they will take the Tier 1 mid, and down it goes. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they haven't actually taken the Tier 1 yet here, so it doesn't appear that DK will look to defend, but instead they'll push through mid a bit more and try and force the TP back. Unfortunately, DK just don't push very quickly. In fact, they push very slowly, so I don't really see this Tier 2 as being under serious threat. That being said, nobody's coming. I mean, they don't push fast, but at some point IG got it back.
Yeah, they seem a little bit indecisive. The movement here around the river area, where they basically moved up and then down again and pretty much in a straight line, seemed like they didn't know exactly what they wanted to accomplish, and they end up paying half a Tier 2. I think if they would have just immediately taken the bot tower with all 5 heroes and then TP'd back, they wouldn't have lost anything. So maybe a little nervous there, or a little uncertain as to what they want to do, but at the end of the day, they don't lose the tower. Shadow Shaman now gets his level 6. I think this is instant Roshan call for IG.
Yeah, the only thing is just they want to push out the mid lane, but they do that. They dispense with the creep wave. Now the Tier 1 mid and bottom both down, and yeah, it's just, it's pretty much a guaranteed Roche. I guess the best DK are going to do is trade top, but I don't know if they actually take this tower. Let's see. They've only got 2 here, the other 2 rotating mid. MMY and Ice are moving towards the pit, but they're not getting there quickly, and IG, already the Roche has fallen. The clock's ticked down, and it's just too late. Arrow will connect to the 430. He's already picked up Aegis, though, and I do want to talk about the Doom. This time around, he's gone for the Blink first, and to me, Sid, this is just the much stronger build, especially when you lack other initiation. Well, hold that thought. Top lane, they've gone in on the Viper.
And mid.
He's got Aegis. I don't think they really want to be doing this. 430, he's silenced for now, and meanwhile, mid lane, like you mentioned, there's more action here. Ice gets picked off. He's doomed, I believe, before... Oh, he used Chrono. He just didn't do enough with it. Now Mushi also getting caught out. MMY's going to fall, and in the end, 430 will back off. So they also end up losing the Mirana. Yeah, I thought there'd be more action.
This was a really nice play from Luo in mid. So the Void jumps in for the Chrono, and Luo sees it and immediately blinks out with the blink we just talked about, so immediately getting value. And then he runs back in and tanks the arrow from Mirana. So because of that, Shadow Shaman stays alive during the Chrono, and then they just turn it around on the Void with Shackle and kill him off. So very, very nice play here from Luo. And what did they lose top? They did lose the tower. They hadn't lost that before.
But 430 even got the tower deny. So
he got the deny. Yeah,
and they tried to go on him, but then they're like, oh wait, this Viper has point booster, mech, and Aegis, and pretty much we're just wasting their time. So they wanted to try and deny the tower or get the tower last hit, but they couldn't even get that. And now Mushi is just chilling in the trees, maybe hoping for a go on 430, but he needs some backup if he wants to do that.
This bottom ward is really being useful right now. DK know exactly what's going to happen.
Well, they know.
Will not be caught out. And this gives Mushi a lot of safety. He knows there's 4 heroes bottom, so he can actually farm the Dire jungle right now. Mid lane's going to be pushed by Burning for the same reason. And IG a little unsuccessful here in the rotation because of good warding. If you're DK, this is what you need. Just a little bit of breathing room, I think. They would love to have that for a while.
Yeah, the DK's biggest asset is time. If they can just farm up the Ags on Ice, the big damage items on Mushi, I think they're in fine shape, even with Razor being relatively low impact. But they need both of those heroes to get farmed, because you are up against Doom, and with the Blink Dagger, and eventually Shadow Shaman to get one, you can't just be having one farm core. If you do, he's just going to get doomed and be out of the fight. So I think DK are just happy to... If the game slows down, that's what DK wants. That's basically how I'm feeling right now. But will it? Lanham goes in on 430. He's got his ultimate available. He'll let it fly, but 430 just tanks it. Then Lanham's like, oh shit, I'd better TP out. He tries to make it out. There's an Astral. He won't go down at base, it looks like. Meanwhile, back in the top lane, Mushi has been caught out, and, well, there's nowhere for Mushi to run. He melts to the right click. That damage aura from the Venge, along with the Medallion, really doing work. Mushi dropped very quickly there.
Yeah, it makes you wonder right now what IG are... I don't think they want to wait for anything, honestly. If they just gather up 5 heroes and go to one of the lanes, I think they get the tower pretty much no matter what happens. DK needs something like a perfect Chronosphere with OD ultimate, or they are just not going to be able to kill the heroes. Viper with the Aegis and Mech in the front lines probably has an Ags in a moment as well, I think. Yeah, he's only 900 away from that. You have the Venge swap even to get them out of this... Yeah, well, if you get them out of the Skywrath, Venge is probably going to die for it, but it's kind of a good love story, Venge dying for Skywrath, right? Not really for against whatever.
Beautiful.
It's going to run in. Wave of Terror. Not going to reach the swap, though. But this is what IG want to do. They want to just probably start gathering as many heroes as possible in one lane and put some pressure here.
I think they can...
Oh, there's the mech, though. That's important for DK. That was right on time.
Yeah, it's a 19-minute mech, fairly late, but just in time to turn this fighter out. Bottom lane, there's a Mascomatus deployed by Ice Ice Ice, and, well, he drops the Chrono to help bail out his buddy Burning. So a Chrono for a Doom. Pretty even trade there, and, well, top lane, Faith goes down onto Mushi. He just TPs right in and gets incinerated. There will be a return kill here on Faith. Maybe even they get a 2-for-1. Still, though, felt like Mushi could have just been a little bit more patient in that. Well, in the end, I suppose, they do get Chuan. Ice 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 should be able to run him down. He's done, but he's got the Mask of Madness. He can just continue chasing. MMY currently body blocking Ice Ice Ice. He says, get the hell out of my way, buddy. But MMY says, no, this arrow's on me. And it is a 2-for-1. Still, it's 2 supports for an OD. I don't even like that trade that much for DK.
And because DK chased so long for that kill with all 3 heroes, they lost an additional 500 or 600 health on that top tier 2 that they could have perhaps avoided by letting 1 or 2 heroes stay and destroy the wards. So they got a little bit bloodlust there and get to pay for it.
You know, the thing with Mushi's also been sitting on Intreads. That's the second time he's died with them, and I think he just needs to chill on strength a little bit more often, because I don't know if he would have lived top, but if you're going to be that aggressive, you really should maximize your HP before you TP in my
Oh, it's Moonlight Shadow!
Huh?
It's Moonlight Shadow!
What is?
It's like the first time we've ever seen it in this series.
Oh. I was like, what?
Realized,
I was like, yes, Cinderin, there's a Marana in this game. I was like, yes, indeed, there is a Marana in this game. Why is he so excited? Yeah, I'm with you,
if I'm wrong, was that spell even cast in Game 1 and Game 2? I don't think so.
Definitely not in Game 2. Or no, maybe it's the other. Maybe I'm getting them backwards. Like, the game where they got stomped, I don't even think they used it. But yeah.
Oh boy.
It's you were way too excited for my taste there. It's 7:30 in the morning. I can't get that hype about Moonlight Shadow. Hey, that was in the afternoon, man.
He uses Moonlight Shadow. Wow.
The Moonlight Shadow.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Wow.
Oh, tier 2's down.
IG are gonna force them back here. They've got the ward.
Right call. Mass Serpent wards in 5 seconds. Again, IG with the timings, just really, really clutch here. It's absolutely perfect. Just as they reach the tower, it's available, and we'll see how much damage they can do.
Wow, really tough fight for DK. They do get a swap off to start it off on Burning. The Chrono comes through, and it's a pretty decent one, but Burning's already very low in spite of that nice Chrono. He's trapped in it. He'll go down. The OD ult comes forth. It's not really much damage. The Doom target probably going down even after this Astral. He will drop quite low to it. Sleight of Fist driving heroes back to the well, and in the end, they will lose the Void, even after the defensive Astral. Ice 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 can't live through it. There's no Chrono left. There's no OD ult left. There's still wards standing, and IG. We'll look at their first lane of racks here. There are some buybacks available. The Void has one, but this Viper, he's too tanky with the Aghanim Scepter. He just keeps on pounding them. IG threatening for their first lane of racks. It feels like a repeat of their last game that they won in this series. Just very decisive early victories, taking racks only 22 minutes in, and it cost them an Aegis and a Venge. That's it. And they force out a Void buyback as well.
This Viper Shadow Shaman duo is really potent. Viper in the front lines, Shadow Shaman wards down. You can't really go and attack the wards because then Viper just starts killing you, and you can't go on the Viper because he's immortal with the Venge behind him. So DK really struggling to find any sort of sensible initiation here, and already losing one lane of racks. I think we were talking about how they needed to play for the late game. I think that bus left already now. It's 10,000 gold, Battle Fury on Ember. And what's going to stop IG now? They just go to the next lane. They're like, okay, we actually kind of didn't lose anything. Let's try again.
This is really the weakness of DK, is their counter push. They have a very strong combo with the Chronosphere OD, but they need more farm. Like, this is a good combo with items, but without them, I don't think it's actually that good at high ground defense, and especially not when there's an Aegis online. And maybe IG wait for the second Aegis, but beyond that send, I think, like you said, just go down the top lane or the mid lane, kill off the tier 2, drop the wards with the wave, and just take your second lane of Rax. As I say that, looks like Tron may be caught here, but Tron is too quick. He gets off the stun. Ice will lurch forward. He comes in with a time walk. They need another bash, though, or this may go south. Nice defensive swap. The Ember's going to zip out. Ice gets caught completely off guard by that, and then Tron reinitiates. He goes on to land him. He actually lives through this, and Ice forced to retreat out. The Ember leaping forward. YYF is hunting, as Ice will be in the Moonlight Shadow and safe for the time being.
Are you surprised they don't have detection?
Have
we even seen Dustbot yet in these games
I guess
either?
it goes back to just, hey, they haven't had Moonlight Shadow in a lot of these games. So
there's a gem on Faith. Okay, that makes a lot of sense then.
Ice is stopping to farm the wave. Oh, okay. They must have just picked that up fairly recently, I imagine. But Mushi gets caught out mid, and he's been doomed, though. Lumo doesn't have a ton of backup here. Fate's coming in. I think they just need an Ether Shock. Level Death will find him. Mushi. Oh, no. He tries to run around the trees. That just makes it easy for Faith to kill him off. Probably wasn't living anyway. But it's... This OD's dying too much. He's 1 in 6. Their late game is... Without an ultra-farmed OD, I give them 0 chance late game.
Yeah, unless if both Void and Razor were having good games, but neither of them really is, so...
That was such a nice... I just want to say, that was such a nice play by IG earlier when they... The swap out and then the Ember zip away completely jukes the Chronosphere. That was very impressive from IG.
That was really good.
But yeah, Burning's now been the one caught. Fate started off. They'll finish him, and now they look for more. Lanham gets isolated. That's 3 dead, and it feels almost inevitable IG will just go down mid, take the second lane of Rax, and DK feel it too. They'll GG out.
Yeah, the question today is if we're going to get a game that's longer than 30 minutes. I can't believe I'm saying this, but... None of these games, they haven't even been remotely close. Maybe game 1 in the beginning, but then IG completely took off. Game 2 was a stomp. Game 3 also very, very one-sided. This is not what I would have expected. I would have expected quite a few games to go 45 minutes plus. And I think if you're DK, you rethink, especially the Mirana, like you said, it's very predictable. Sure, he goes 2-1 and 3 in this game, and it's all good, but it didn't. DK's draft just... Do you think it's an overstatement to say it just flat out doesn't work against IGs in the early game? I think they need to just play so much better that they put themselves under an amount of pressure that they can't deal with against a team like IG.
Yeah, I think that's fair. To me, DK played better than expected in the laning stage, and they still got run over in the mid game. And the Mirana's 2-1 and 3. Well, MMY found some kills, but compare her impact to the Shadow Shaman and the Venge. These heroes gave the team Roshan. They gave them tons of towers. The support Mirana Skywrath just didn't do very much, and I think the only way they do a lot is if they get to go later game. That's where the Skywrath Mage Chronosphere combo is pretty strong. You can just blow heroes up with the Chronosphere into the ultimate Mystic Flare, but I think they overvalue support Mirana a bit, to be honest. I still think it's strong, but it's not first pick every game material to me, and we're gonna have to see if DK feels the same way. Like you said, they've been pretty convinced about it and borderline stubborn. You used that word earlier, and I think it's feeling accurate right now, but let's see if DK can prove us wrong. They certainly have made more of the support Mirana in past games. So, with that being said, guys, Game 3 is a wrap. It's a best of 5. IG now lead 2-1, and they'll have DK on match point for 1, maybe 2 games longer. DK, they failed against IG in the WPC Season 2 finals. They fell short 4-1 there in a best of 7. Will they have the answers now? It seems maybe not, but, well, we'll have to wait for Game 4 to find out. You're watching Beyond the Summit's presentation of the GEST Challenge, the Grand Finals. I'm LD, he's Cinder, and of course, be sure to follow him at Cinder and Dota if you enjoy his casting. And with that being said, guys, we'll be right back for Game number 4. Stick with us.